Good morning, my name is Caitlin, and today I'm going to tell you a tale of two cities. So we're going to take it back to Pittsburgh, 1940s, had a terrible reputation for air pollution, and was even known as hell with the lid taken off. To give you an example, this was downtown Pittsburgh in the morning. You can barely see the sky. This is not a cloudy day. And this again is a sunny afternoon. So at this point, air pollution is so bad that you're having trouble breathing, children are having excessive cases of asthma, and the overall health impacts are pretty intense, especially on cardiovascular, so heart disease and lung cancer. So this was in 1940. Let's check in what's happening today in our second city. All the way over in New Delhi. So this year, New Delhi won the crown for dirtiest city when it surpassed Beijing's pollution levels. So this is in the morning. Good morning to New Delhi. You can barely tell. Looks like a cloudy day. Again, you're having the same sorts of problems that Pittsburgh had in 1940. So this is the situation in New Delhi. What's it like in the rest of the region? So if you can see the industrial little symbols there, these are all the top 10 worst polluting cities as defined by the WHO. Now, why is this a problem? Well, in 2012, the WHO reported that outdoor air pollution was responsible for more than 3.7 million deaths. That's a big deal, and this is the environment's greatest risk to our health. So this is a pretty dim picture. What can we do about it? So there are a few sources for air pollution, and the major ones are comprised of carbon monoxide, nitrogen oxide, sulfur oxides, and particulate matter. So particulate matter is a pretty broad term, and it just means the particles in the air. The smaller they are, the worse they are for your health, as they can penetrate your lungs and bloodstream. These are from industrial machinery, cars, industry, and even natural sources like volcanoes. We can't do a whole lot about volcanoes, so we'll move on. But what we can do happens on a couple of levels. The first level is in government and environmental policy. So these are things like air regulations, smoke controls, putting limits on emissions in developing countries and developed countries, and increasing taxes on fuel to encourage economic incentive to pursue alternative options. So let's look back at Pittsburgh and see if any of these are even possible. So Margaret Mead said, "Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it is the only thing that ever has." So in 1946, the public decided that they had had enough, and the government passed a few laws. And it took until 1950, but this is what the city looks like today, a far cry from what we saw in 1940. So moving on, what can you do? So it might seem like this is a really big issue that's very far from you. But on a personal level, you can partake in carpools or public transit. So in Delhi, 75% of urban air pollution is as a result of commuter traffic. So actively participating in sustainable ways of transport really do make a difference. And you can do this in Montreal, Los Angeles, London. All of these cities have active programs to encourage cycling. And the final thing you can do is reduce your ecological footprint. Not only does this reduce overall air pollution, but it also has a great impact on the environment altogether. So now the end of the story is up to you. We know how Pittsburgh ended. We'd like to see how New Delhi can end. And unless someone like you cares a whole awful lot, nothing is going to get better. It's not.